Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amanda and this is Heart and Harmony Healing. And today I want to answer a question that I received from my last vlog asking to share more about my experience with letting go of fear before working my nursing job. So I've been working as a nurse for over 7 years now, and the first few years were very tough. It was very stressful. I had so much anxiety and fear about going to work. I would feel like physical symptoms in my body in the morning when I was getting ready for work. I would have like nausea, and I just dreaded going to work. I was so scared. In the beginning, I think it was very understandable because I was still new and inexperienced. Ignore my cat meowing in the background there. He's very needy. So yeah, I was always just very afraid because I was taking care of people, and if you mess up as a nurse, it affects people's lives. Like, you can hurt someone, you can even kill someone. So I was very afraid of making a mistake and something like that happening. And I also had some pretty tough experiences, especially the first few years, and then especially during COVID when we were very short-staffed and we had to work short. We had to take care of more patients than we normally would. And some of those shifts were extremely stressful and extremely busy. Some of them I felt like I had trauma from. And it wasn't necessarily that something really bad happened, but I remember one shift in particular, I got pulled to a different unit that I don't work on, and I had like 7 patients, I think, during a day shift when normally the maximum would be 5. And so on top of being on a new unit, not the usual patients I would normally take care of, I was just so overwhelmed and like drowning because I could not get done everything that needed to be done. It was impossible, and it was really upsetting for me because I wasn't able to give my patients the best care. I know I had one patient who had cancer, and I wasn't able to get him his pain medications on time. I wasn't able to change all of my patients' dressings and turn all of my patients every 2 hours that needed to be turned. And normally, like when I'm very overwhelmed like that and just so swamped, I would ask the other nurses for help, or like the healthcare aides to maybe do some extra things for me. But the problem was that everyone else was in like the same situation as me, and they were so busy themselves that like I couldn't ask for help. So I felt just this immense amount of stress in my body at that time, and I just wanted to like break down and cry, but I couldn't. I had so many things I had to do. So I did leave that shift with a fear of that kind of situation happening again, because I take a lot of pride in my work. I really care about my patients. I care about giving them the best care that I possibly can, and in those situations I just wasn't able to. So it was very upsetting for me. And from having those type of experiences, lots of other like very busy, stressful shifts as well, I was just constantly afraid of having those types of shifts again, and very afraid that like something would come up that I wasn't able to handle, and that bad things would happen because of that. So I had so much anxiety and fear about going to work and what could happen at work. And so I was on like my spiritual healing journey at this time, and I don't remember exactly where I got the idea from. It must have been from one of my mentors, my coaches, one of my teachers, who recommended doing some intention setting. So I started to set intentions before work to get myself in kind of like a better energy where I'm not just in this dread, but more of a positive energy. So I would say like a little prayer, calling in like my higher self, my spirit guides, source, and like setting the intention that I would maintain an energy of peace, love, ease, and joy, confidence throughout my shift. And I also started setting the intention that I would trust. I would trust the universe for that I wouldn't be given anything that I couldn't handle. And also trust in myself that anything that comes up, I will be able to handle, that I've had the education, the experience, and I will know what to do. And if I don't know what to do, there will be other people to help. So I felt like that starting off really helped a lot. My shifts started to go more smoothly. I started to have less of those really stressful hard shifts. And I had even heard another nurse talking one time that it's kind of like a law of attraction thing where, the energy that you're in when you go into work reflects what you receive back, what you attract. And so this other nurse was saying that she had kind of noticed that if she goes into work thinking it's going to be a bad day, it's going to be a hard shift, then it more likely will be a hard shift. But if she goes into work thinking it's going to be a good day and having a positive attitude about it, then it will more likely be a good day. And I also agreed with this because this is what I had found was working for me, was those days when I had this positive outlook, I found that my shifts did go better. And so that was an amazing start. It wasn't the full journey of what got me to where I am now with having, really good shifts. I don't even remember the last time I had a super stressful shift, even if it is a little more busy. It's like actually, like when I think about it, it's like a miracle going from like how hard work was for me then versus now. It's just so much more ease, and I can actually enjoy going to work instead of dreading it. So one other thing that I had to do in this process, I needed to process some of that like trauma or those emotions that I was holding onto from those previous stressful experiences I had. So I had to sit with those experiences, reflect back on them, and really feel through the emotions that those experiences brought up for me. I know there was a lot of shame that maybe I wasn't perfect, and all of that fear, also just like the stressful feeling, the feeling like not having enough time to do everything, and fear about like whatever consequences, fear of making mistakes, and any other emotions that came up. I had to let myself really feel through them, not pushing that emotion aside, but like accepting it with non-judgment and letting myself feel that, which is, I could make a whole other video on the emotions. That's been a very important part of my journey, has been learning how to process those emotions. So once I was able to let go of those through feeling through them, those emotions, I wasn't holding on to that energy anymore. And going back to like the law of attraction again, I wasn't attracting situations that held that same energy, like that fear energy and that stress. And after that, I was able to more fully trust in myself and in the universe, in source. So trusting that with what I had learned, the tools I had now, that even if I was presented with like a situation like that shift that I explained earlier, where it was just so busy and I couldn't get everything done, if that happened to me now, I would definitely handle it in a different way. I wouldn't get so overwhelmed by it. I would be able to, like, you know, take a deep breath. I would still be like kind of stressed about it and, like, you know, trying to do everything, not diddle-daddling, but I would be able to be more calm. My nervous system would be more calm, and I would do what I could, right? Because in those kind of situations, you can't do everything. You just have to do what you can, you know, do what the priority stuff. And I wouldn't be just such a big ball of stress. And like those kind of situations, the level of stress I was holding, and like with the adrenaline and all the stress hormones, I'm sure that has definitely contributed to the burnout I experienced from work. It wasn't just the amount I was working, but it was the emotional and physical stress on my body, on my being, because it takes so much longer to recover from a shift like that than it does from a shift where everything goes well, right? So yeah, that has also being able to handle these type of situations, and was really huge for preventing myself from going into burnout again. So trusting myself that, you know, I can handle anything that comes up, and also a really big trust that I've developed in source, in the universe, in God, that I will not be handed anything that I cannot handle. And so that trust has been, I think, the biggest thing that has helped me in this transformation, from going from that fear and anxiety to having so much more ease and calmness and peace within me, and confidence as well, to like attract these shifts that are so much better for me. Like, it just blows my mind how good things have gotten, because there's no really other explanation other maybe than, you know, staffing is a little better now. Like, that definitely helps, but even so, there can definitely be times when I could have those types of shifts, but it's just like that completely shift. Like, I'm on a completely different timeline now, just from like this work that I did with setting those intentions and learning how to trust and let go of those emotions from those previous experiences and let go of that fear. So yeah, I'm extremely happy because, you know, back then I was looking into maybe changing jobs, going into a different area of work, maybe still a nurse, but like in a different setting, not the hospital setting. And now I'm able to keep my same job, and I'm able to actually enjoy it and, yeah, not dread going into work. So it's been really an amazing journey for that. So the way I see it, there are different views that we can have on life. We can have the life is happening to me, where we don't really have a say in what happens. We are more so a victim to what happens. So I would say that is more so where I was at the beginning of my journey, with no control over what happened to me, the shifts that I had. And then there's also the view of I create my life, where you're doing all the work, you're controlling everything, but that doesn't work because you can't control everything, especially in a nursing job. There's a lot of things you don't have any control over. You never know what you're going to walk into. So that belief doesn't work so well. And then there's the belief that life is happening for me, so that source, the universe, God is controlling everything, but it's for you, for your own growth, for your experience, whatever. But then that leaves you not having any control at all as well, right? You might have some trust in God, but then you don't take the aligned action for yourself. And then there's the belief that you are co-creating your life. So you are creating it, and you are creating it with Source, co-creating. It's not one or the other. So no, you can't control everything, but you see that everything is happening for a reason, and that when you have the awareness, you can see what's happening in the outside world, and you can reflect that inward and see what work you need to do, because everything that's happening to you is really happening for you. Your outside world is a reflection to help you grow. It's always there for you. So when you live intentionally, you know what it is that you want, you ask for it, you do let go of the control and surrender to how and when it comes to you, but you have that trust in both yourself and in Source, then that's when really amazing things can happen. If you liked this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave any comments, any questions that you have. I would love to answer your questions further. And I'll see you in the next one.